Hi, and welcome to The City Show. I'm your host, John Zimkus. We've got a full show today, and our first guest is Sergeant Dustin Carilco from the Lebanon Police Department. Welcome, Dustin.
Thank you. Thanks for
Now,
having me.
we've got a holiday coming up, which is one we should be concerned about as far as safety goes.
Yes, Halloween coming up shortly.
Yes. Now, what are the hours for Halloween in Lebanon this year?
It will be 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. and it'll be that Tuesday on Halloween, rain or shine. But we also this Saturday will have the merchant trick or treating as well in the downtown area. We will have some Lebanon police cars out there to pass out some goodies to the kids as well.
That's good. Now, on the 28th, on the Saturday, that's what, 1 to 3, I think it is?
Yes, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m.
Okay.
downtown.
Now, in both cases, although the evening one perhaps a little bit more need to safety is desired because of the darkness coming upon, but what are some of the safety tips the police would like to pass along?
I think the number one safety tip to pass along, if anybody was to take any message from this, is to just be mindful of the streets. So if you're going door to door trick or treating, there's going to be times you're going to have to cross the street. So it's very important that you're looking both ways, that you're using crosswalks when you're able to, because there's going to be a lot of people on foot. There's also still going to be a lot of traffic, and I'm sure a lot of these costumes are dark in color, maybe not very reflective, so drivers might not be able to see any of these trick-or-treaters. So the number one safety tip is just be cautious when crossing the street or going out into the street.
Now, one of the recommendations I saw listed was reflective tape, and I imagine many a trick-or-treater doesn't want to put tape on their good costume, but they could put it on their shoes or on their bag, a candy bag or something like that.
Yes, you can put reflective tape on your costume, or if you want to have a flashlight in your hand, that's also something that is visible for drivers on the roadway. But it's definitely important to be seen while you're out, since it's getting darker earlier this year, or earlier now this time of year. So you may not like it on your costume, but it's pretty important.
Yeah. Well, at least in my neighborhood, most of the kids I see are accompanied by a parent, which is something good. I don't know about you because I'm considerably older than you, but when I was trick-or-treating as a young boy, mom or dad never went. We just went out there on our own.
Yeah, I would encourage parents to go with their children that are trick-or-treating. If you are an older kid that is trick-or-treating and are able to go without a parent, it would be wise to travel in groups, I guess. Maybe not by yourself, but parents are definitely encouraged to go with their children.
Now, as you may know, I work at the Harmon Museum, and sometimes going through the old newspapers, I often see the Lebanon police chief saying, "Please do not have the tricks." Because apparently there was an issue, I don't know if it still is or not, where some kids would get kind of rowdy and be somewhat destructive or vandalize things. Is that still an issue?
We do occasionally respond to incidents where there's been some sort of vandalism, whether it's something minor or not, specifically around Halloween time, whether it's somebody that's toilet papering somebody's home or maybe throwing eggs, but it's important to be mindful of those in the city, not damaging their property. While you may think it's all fun and games, it definitely could be a headache for those that you do it to.
Yeah. Now, this is, we're talking about how the kids can be safer, but we also should talk to the drivers out there that, especially during the trick-or-treating time, they should be more aware of that it is little kids running around and might be jumping out into the street and that sort of thing.
Absolutely. So that message was not just for those that are going door to door trick or treating, but those that are going to be driving throughout the street as well. Because when kids are getting candy and they're going door to door, they're going to be excited. They're going to want to run to the next house to get their candy. So drivers need to know that there could be a kid that's super excited that just wants to get to the next house that could dart out in the street. And might be hard to see because of, it's dark out and they're wearing a dark costume. So just keep in mind there are going to be a lot of people on foot traveling through the streets trick-or-treating. So just proceed with caution, drive slower than normal, and just look out for the trick-or-treaters.
Now, the trick-or-treaters will be often wearing masks, and that does hinder their eyesight, and they often don't see as well. So that's another reason why to be careful about that. Now, we have the usual warning about what kind of candy to accept or what kind of candy to give.
Right. So if you're a parent and your child is getting candy from door to door, I would have them hold off on eating the candy until maybe you get home and you're able to inspect that candy, see it's not been opened or tampered with, and just getting candy from the factory that's not been opened is the safest bet.
Yeah. And you were saying trick-or-treating is rain or shine.
Yes.
And from what I've looked up earlier this morning, it's a 40% chance of rain and high of only 50 that day. So it could be a little chilly and perhaps a little wet. So another reason to be on the lookout and be more diligent as to what's going on.
Absolutely. Yeah. So whether it rains or not, there's still going to be trick-or-treaters out there.
Mm-hmm. So once again, trick-or-treating on the 31st, Tuesday,
yes, sir.
5:30 to 7:30.
Yes.
Now, if a house wants to participate, they turn their porch light on. Is that correct?
Yes. So if you're trick-or-treating going to houses, I would go to the houses that are well lit, that have their lights on. If there's a house that is dark, there's no lights on, it's probably a good indication that they're not passing out candy, because not every home in the city is going to participate.
Now, on Saturday, the 28th, there is the Merchants of Lebanon's trick-or-treating from 1 to 3.
Yes.
Now, is that just in the downtown area?
Correct. It'll be in the downtown, the business district, and we'll be down there as well with a cruiser passing out candy. And if we see any kids maybe dressed as a police officer, might get a little extra candy.
I do know at the Harmon Museum that the Beetle Cabin will be open and candy will be given from the Beetle Cabin.
Oh, cool.
Yes. Anything else we should tell them about safety around this time of year?
I think we covered the most important things. That's all I can think of for now.
Well, thanks so much, Dustin, for being with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Okay. We'll be right back. Hi, welcome back. Our next guest is Julie Fennessy, who is the director of the Ralph J. Stolle Center at the Countryside Y. Welcome, Julie.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Now, my first question is, what is the Ralph J. Stolle Center?
Oh, that's a good question. That's for members who are 50 and older. Although, let me tell you, I don't think that 50 is really considered a senior. Just saying that. But it's for 50 and older. And then if you are the spouse of someone who's 50, you can use the center too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of the members of the Stolle Center, which I happen to be one,
Yes.
Are veterans.
Yes,
And
they
that's
are.
what we're talking about today.
Mhm.
The Y is having its annual Veterans Day celebration.
Mhm.
How many years has the Y been doing this?
Oh, so I'm not really sure. I know that Dorothy Duchamp started it long before I took over. I've been there 7 years, and I know that Sherry Reed was there for 4 or 5 years before me. So possibly 15, 16 years. I'm not sure. But it's been around for a while.
And how long have you been doing it now?
7.
7.
7 years.
Now, as we were talking briefly before we started recording, I attended a few years ago, and it's a very, very moving and a very patriotic event. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. Now, do you register?
No. So during COVID, we asked for people to register because I only could have so many people in the event center at the time because there were, limitations to, 6 feet apart, that thing. But no, you don't have to register.
Okay. Now, it's when does it take place?
November 10th, that's a Friday. November 11th, obviously, is Veterans Day, but that's on a Saturday. It starts at noon. It will be held in the main gym, the whole thing. Lunch is following that too, so that usually is around 1 o'clock.
Oh, is the lunch free?
Yes, it is.
Now, do you have to be a member of the Y?
No, you do not. It's open to the community.
So anybody who was a veteran or
Supports veterans.
Supports veterans? Okay,
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah.
Now, I know one of the things you did when I saw it years ago is you try to identify veterans from the community.
Yes.
Now, d- if somebody is a veteran who moved into the area, should they notify you that they're a veteran or their loved one was a veteran or?
No, they don't have to do that. However, I am bringing something back that I did have a couple years ago. It's called Flags for Heroes. So if you want to recognize a veteran, a branch of service, it could be deceased or alive. You for $5, you will get a flag. Well, I will put the flag in the front lawn, and then I will take their name, print it out, laminate it, and then I will tie it to the flag, and it'll be displayed in the front lawn of the Y. And we'll do that for the week preceding Veterans Day.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Now, a lot of community organizations are being involved with the Y in this.
Yes, they are.
And who are some of the organizations which are going to be helping out?
So I have wonderfully got the Wind Ensemble from the Lebanon High School. I have a select choir from the Little Miami High School and their ROTC, the Warren County Sheriff Department, the Honor Guard, the Pipe and Drum Corps, and then Sheriff Larry Sims will, we will recognize our oldest living veteran, and then they'll be awarded a flag from the flag folding ceremony. And then I'll have a guest speaker. She's the mayor of Middletown, Nicole Condre. I met her. She's lovely, and she's very passionate about veterans. And trying to think if there's anything else. It's just a full community supportive event.
Now, is there a 21 gun salute?
Yes, there is. Yeah.
That's in the gym.
They'll be outside.
Outside, okay.
Yes, they'll be outside. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, when the one I saw, the pipe and drum, is that from the sheriff's department?
Yes, it is.
Okay, because that was very impressive. Very, very impressive.
Yeah.
And the bringing in of the colors by the ROTC.
It's a full military protocol event.
And when I was there, is the mayor of Middletown a veteran?
She is not. She's a former U.S. diplomat, but she was married to a veteran. So I'm going to get this wrong, but he deployed multiple number of times to Iraq. So yeah, so she's very passionate about serving our country and recognizing those that have.
You know, that's one thing we often overlook.
Yeah.
That the spouses of veterans are serving their country.
Yes, they are.
And so
Yeah.
it's a different perspective.
Yeah.
Now, what kind of meal are you going to
It'll
have?
be a hot meal. We're going to have pulled pork with a variety of sauces. We will have macaroni and cheese, coleslaw, rolls. There'll be a big variety of desserts. My members love to get all in and bake desserts. And then we'll have drinks. And yeah, it's all free.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, is there anything else we should let the viewers know about this?
No, just come and support our veterans. It's a beautiful program. I'm honored to put it on every year. It means a lot to me. And yeah, just come on out.
Well, you're absolutely correct about it being beautiful. The one I attended was moving. It was inspiring.
Thank you.
The speaker was, I believe, the sheriff from Brown County, perhaps?
Yes. That was a few years ago. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he was a former general. In the,
Yeah.
fantastic. And, you know, there are veterans all around us, and sometimes they just don't brag about, I was a veteran.
Right.
But they have to be thanked for their
Yes,
service
I
and
agree.
what they have done for us.
I agree.
Well, Julie, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Oh,
It was-
my
it was a
pleasure.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. Welcome back. Our next guest is Matt Latham, the new CEO of the Warren County Park District. Welcome, Matt.
Thank you, John.
Now, how long have you been CEO of the Park District?
Well, almost 5 months now, so I'm still getting my feet wet.
Now, were you involved in the Park District prior to that?
No, actually, I spent the past 7 years as the Director of Planning for Metro Parks of Butler County, our neighbors next door.
Now, how many parks does Warren County have?
So we have 1,700 acres under management in 11 open parks and 6 conservation areas.
Now, what happens in the conservation areas?
So currently, those are areas that are simply set aside for nature. They're closed to the public, but we have future plans to get them open for passive recreation access, like hiking and bird watching, jogging, those kinds of things.
Mhm. Now, are some of them relatively small, the conservation areas?
Our smallest park is just a few acres, but we tend to focus on areas that are 50 acres or larger.
Okay. Now, the largest one is Armco Park, right?
That's right.
And the county, relatively, how long has the county had Armco Park?
So we've had that park since 2008. It used to be the private park of the Armco Association. It was the union of the employees who worked at Armco Steel over in Middletown. Once AK Steel decided they no longer wanted to be in the park business, the park district, the county, and Otterbein all banded together to purchase the property from Armco Steel and turn it into a public park.
Now, there are a number of different things that you can do at Armco Park, but
Mhm.
also at some of the other parks. What are some of the activities that are available?
Well, Armco Park is where we have most of our activities in terms of we have a par 3 golf course there, 18 holes. We also have a boat rental concession. We have a 4-field softball complex, which will be getting synthetic turf infields starting next year. So there's a lot going on at Armco Park. Our other flagship park is Landon Deerfield Park. That's down in the Landon area near Mainville. It's 98 acres and it has several soccer fields, a couple of ball fields. It also has a nice wooded area with a mountain bike trail and a beautiful stream running through it.
Now, does the park district have anything to do with the soccer fields across from Armco Park?
Those are run by the Warren County Visitors Bureau. So we try to work together to co-market our spaces, but they are run by separate
Mhm.
entities.
So, you mentioned the Landon Park. What other parks around the county do we have?
Well, I'll start by mentioning my favorite Warren County park, which is Heisey Park. It's up by Waynesville, near the corner of Middletown Road and Corwin Road. And that's a gorgeous park. It's more natural, but it has an observatory. So the Warren County Astronomical Society partners with us on an observatory out there. We have a beautiful historic farmhouse and also a dog park. And if you go past the dog park, there's a trail going up the hill to a beautiful overlook of the Little Miami Valley.
Oh, great. I did not know we had an observatory in Warren County.
Mhm.
And now there's an event going on there in the next month or two.
Yeah, correct. We have a couple of star parties coming up in November and December. So check out our website for details on
Mhm.
that.
And you're working with the Warren County Astronomical Society. Now,
Correct.
the observatory is called, is it the Fred Bay?
The Fred Bay Observatory,
Eh,
named after a former park commissioner who's deceased.
Okay. Now, you're the chief executive.
Mhm.
Uh, are there commissioners overlooking you or
Yes. So we have a 3-member board of park commissioners. They are all volunteers and they're appointed by the county probate judge. And there's a particular section of the Ohio Revised Code that covers park districts, and that's how those are the people that represent the people of Warren County in the park district.
Okay. Now, I recently read that there is an organization called Friends of the Warren County Park District.
Correct, and it's a great organization to get involved in. It's an organization dedicated to supporting the park district through volunteerism and fundraising.
Mhm. And normally the park district meetings are open to the public. Is that correct?
That's correct. So usually every first and third Wednesday of the month at 2 o'clock in the afternoon at the Armco Park office. Yeah, those meetings are open to the public.
Okay, fantastic.
Mhm.
Now, besides Landon, Hissey,
Heisey, yep.
Heisey, I'm
Mhm.
sorry, Heisey and Armco, what other parks do we have?
So there's a pair of parks called Bowman and Foltz Parks that are right in between Waynesville and Corwin. We have Morrow Veterans Park, which is right along the Little Miami Scenic Trail, right in the heart of Morrow. We have Hatton Lukens Park out by Harveysburg next to the Renaissance Festival, um, and several others.
Now, is Mathers Mill one of yours?
Mathers Mill is one of ours. I would describe that more as a conservation area because it's right now just a piece of forest that's set aside for nature. But we hope to develop access and trails there in the future.
Now, if someone had a canoe, could they launch it from Mathers Mill, or is that other parks?
Yes, actually, Mathers Mill has a canoe launch. It is operated by the Ohio Department of Natural Resources, so not the Park District, but we also have several points along the Little Miami River where you can put a canoe in or take one out, including a couple of parks I mentioned, the Fultz Park in Corwin and Morrow Veterans Park in Morrow.
Okay. What kind of plans do you see happening to the Park District in the future?
Well, we are a county-wide agency, so our goal is to serve every county resident. So our vision is to provide access to green space, connected trails, or park programming within a 10-minute drive of every Warren County resident.
Now, with Warren County becoming more populated with every year,
Mhm.
filling the pinch from Cincinnati and Dayton, is there a move to preserve more and more parks or
Yeah.
park areas?
I believe so. You know, they aren't making more land, and as more development occurs within the county, it's going to be important for us to set aside some green space for future generations to enjoy.
Mhm. Now, Matt, is there anything else we should tell the folks about the Warren County Park District and what it's up to?
Yeah, I think it's just important for everyone to know that we love partnerships. We love to work with like-minded individuals and organizations and other government entities to accomplish common goals. And that's something that we've really excelled at. So if you're interested in partnering with the Warren County Park District, please reach out to us. We have an email. It's parks@co.warren.oh.us. And that's a great place to reach us.
And you also have a website, correct?
Yes, it's a similar URL. So we right with the county's website. So if you want to go to Warren County's website, it's co.warren.oh.us. And if you want to go to the parks, just add /parks to that, and that'll get you right to it.
Mhm. Well, Matt, thanks so much for being on this show. I'm glad I learned about the observatory and many of the other things going on, and it may be new to you too. So take advantage of the parks nearby. They may not be in Lebanon, but they're not too far away.
Yeah, thanks, John.
Oh, you're quite welcome. Well, that's our show this weekend. Have a good week, and I'll see you around town.